All right, let's get started. This is PokerCraft live at the bike, Mondays, 6 p.m. PST. This is Xuan Liu. She played
Hey.
on last Thursday's eSports live at the bike. She was brought in by Tom Martell. Is that correct?
hmm
Tom Martell is a Magic the Gathering legend. He's at Riot Games now. Riot Games makes League of Legends. Riot Games owned by Tencent, which is still the second biggest company in China.
A second base?
Second biggest company in China.
Oh,
Second most valuable? No?
yeah, it's up there.
Okay. At times, it's 10 cents worth more than Facebook. At times.
Yes,
Shout out to
it's
Tencent.
pretty nuts.
Please, if I lose my job here, please just kidding. Just kidding. Xuan Liu has almost $2 million in tournament winnings, right?
Yes, it feels like I've been at almost $2 million for many, many years, but
And then by the end of the year, this year, 2 million. No,
I don't,
no.
I don't know how many more tournaments I'm gonna play. It's hard when, I'm only playing like 5 or 10 tournaments a year these days.
Okay, you'll get there. If you don't,
Oh,
we'll start putting
I'm
you
sure
in.
I'm
I don't
getting there.
know. Okay.
There's no doubt.
So first of all, what's the Xuan Liu story?
Okay, that's a very loaded question, I
It
feel.
is very. We got time. Don't worry.
For TLDR, I was born in China.
Time
Uh,
out.
yes,
For those internet people who don't know what TLDR, it's
everybody knows.
no, they don't. Trust me.
Really? Okay.
Too long, don't read. So this is the summarized version. Okay. No.
Didn't read. No. Uh, Too long, semicolon, didn't read. So the abbreviated version, obviously, it's all we have time for. I was born in Tianjin, China. Grew up in Canada, moved there when I was 5. My parents are hardworking Chinese immigrants. That's the
Yep.
classic, that story.
Same as mine.
hmm hmm Um, I okay, this is not talking about poker yet.
No, this is your story.
I've always loved games, video games, sports, was athlete of the year in middle school.
Okay.
Have just always been competitive.
I can see
Why did
that.
you?
Nothing. I can see in your eyes. You're like sizing. You're like, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm not like super athletic anymore, but I definitely, just love to surround myself with sports and games and played chess when I was young and Chinese chess um, and watched my grandmother play mahjong, when I was young. When I saw God of Gamblers on TV, I used to like play poker with my stuffed animals and theorize like what each stuffed animal would do with like limited information. And so I've just like always loved poker. And so when it kind of blew up when I was in university, um, I saw it as a great opportunity to make supplemental income. I ran my own home game, I dealt, yeah, just did everything poker related. I read every single book out there at the time.
What year was this?
Um, 2008 or so,
Okay.
something like that.
So that's
During
pretty late
during the
in.
money maker boom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of
Moneymaker was
late,
like
but
2003,
three.
2004.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I when you
It's
get
okay.
past a certain age,
Yeah.
all the times just like meshed together.
So study hard, ran home games, did all this, but
I don't
it's
know how hard. Oh, I studied hard in poker, but
yeah.
not school. Yeah, I
What
barely
you?
graduated, but
Oh, me too. Don't worry. But you're from the Toronto area, right?
yes,
So you went to university.
I went to University of Waterloo.
Okay.
It was a big poker school. Why do you laugh?
No, no, because UC San Diego, there's a lot of poker people in UC San Diego, like Maria Ho, Steve Sung, Joseph Chong. The secret is that because the indie casinos there are 18 and over, so they get you started early. So maybe
Yeah,
in other places it's also like
in
that.
my home game.
You know,
Yeah.
shout out to home games. Okay, so continue from the home game.
Um. Okay, so that was around the time poker blew up. Um, I saw it as an opportunity to travel. There were, I didn't have like a lot of income back then, but I started by playing limit poker at the charity casinos around my university. Then moved on to like the 5-5 game, no limit game at Niagara Falls View, and started playing MTTs about like 3 or 4 years into my poker career. Although for the first few years it was like super casual. I was partially in school at that time. It's been so long since I talked about this. I'm like, yeah, I like kind of forgot the origin story.
Well,
Um, but yeah,
Xuan Liu origins.
I guess I got super lucky when I first started playing MTTs because within 6 months or so, I banked a $500,000 cash playing an EPT.
Easy game.
Um, my thoughts at the time, I didn't have the proper bankroll for it, was that
Oh, who else?
I would like travel to Europe, go on adventures, play poker on the side. Worst comes to worst, I go broke and go home, get into finance or
Because you
something.
have that degree, university
Yep,
degree, so it's the backup
exactly.
plan. Yeah.
hmm hmm And okay, so I got lucky playing MTTs
Hmm.
and just kept playing MTTs and final table PCA 6 months later again, and just have always had six-figure years every year since then. And got to travel the world. With, am pretty blessed to have a ton of sponsorship opportunities come my way at various
You're a
times.
WPT. You're also Natural 8, or
Yeah, most recently I was sponsored by Natural 8, but I've also worked with PokerStars
hmm,
in various capacities and was an 8 Pro. Um,
professional. Um, yeah, and then you won an APPT championship.
that was a small one. Yeah, that was a side event.
You keep saying it's like small. I'm like, I want one. Like WPSOP, I want to put a ring on it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it felt great.
Yeah. So like I've never been a tournament grinder, but I hear it's very emotionally taxing and
hmm
like you don't always cash.
Yep.
So what's the emotional difference between not cashing and like bubbling versus cashing versus final tabling versus winning it?
So this is actually one of the reasons I stopped playing tournament poker. I just had like a lot of personal things happening with me in the past few years, and I just like couldn't have like all the mood swingy elements of tournament poker compounding on all the other things affecting my life and mood. But yeah, you try to see it as a numbers game, and you're not going to make money 80% of the time, and even smaller chances than that are you actually going to win significant money. Um, there's bankroll management, there's the accounting you have to do, there's backer management, it's like even though I still love the game, I just felt like my energy was probably going to be better used on something else, which is why I slowly started to shift away. Which is also why I like being on a show like this and getting to play at Life at the Bike is such a treat.
Thank you. And we're glad to have you.
It's true.
So you were on Joe Ingram's podcast, and I just watched that. Obviously, a lot of it is interesting. And then I think at that juncture, you were kind of getting out of poker. It was a couple years ago, and then you're moving into esports, or you mentioned you were, or just the
Did I at that
industry.
time? I'm trying to remember when exactly that happened.
Okay, I read a
I think
couple
that was right
articles. Yeah.
before the Girl Got Game reality TV show that went nowhere. Oh my gosh, we got scammed so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live and learn. Live and
hmm
learn.
Funnily enough, that was my last time at the Bicycle Casino when we shot the hands for that show.
Okay.
hmm
And this is a much better experience because Live the Bike's not a scam.
Yeah, exactly. And we actually got paid out of our winnings.
Whoa, whoa. Shots fired. But I think we briefly talked about this, but um, I guess you didn't want to grind poker, and then you were considering getting the esports industry. So how does that
Yeah,
transition?
so like I mentioned, I have always loved video games, and in the past few years, I spent a lot of time playing League of Legends, and for better or worse, it was the thing that occupied my mind the most. And with a poker background, knowing how like the sponsorship landscape works, and seeing esports kind of in a position that poker was maybe about a decade ago, where there's just like so much money pouring in, so many young kids, like all the internet kids who who got into poker when there was like a ton of money flying around.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was like a natural evolution for me and my career,
So I saw
to shift to
you were
esports.
playing Dota 2 before League, right? Or
No,
no, you
mostly
weren't?
League.
Okay,
Not
mostly
really.
League.
Where did
Okay.
you read that?
So,
There's so
I
much
don't know. I'm
information
reading.
out there.
I mean, this is you
I
in
played
person.
Dota 2. I played Dota in like college
Okay.
with like my roommates, but I was mostly a World of Warcraft nerd.
Okay. So
Yeah.
for the audience who are mainly poker people, they may not know anything about video games and esports. Dota is Defenders of the Ancients, which is a 5-on-5 game like basketball, and League
Yeah,
of
exactly
Legends. I
like
mean, that's this is what all the
basketball.
news. All the news outlets are also like, it's a 5-on-5 game like basketball. So each team of 5 selects a specific champion slash hero, and then it's just like 5-on-5. So League of Legends is noteworthy for at least one of the world championships had higher viewership than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So it's big. And I was like watching, the Chinese streaming service. Douyu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
W.
Douyu, sorry. My Chinese not good. Chinese, my 10th language. No, I'm just kidding. It's cool because like the streaming culture on there is so different from the American streaming culture. So when like the world championships are going on, whereas on the Twitch and YouTube, you guys see the chat, and then there's like, oh, something donation. In the Chinese stuff, it's like three-dimensional. Like you got cheering and just like there's
Yeah, it gives me a headache.
yeah,
There's like
it's
stuff
like
flying all
yeah,
over
it's
the
like all crazy, and then
screens.
like people doing the donations, there's like rockets and stuff
Yeah,
like that. So there's like more money than
my
what's on Twitch. And uh, what was the so they have like sixes, right? Like, yeah. So if you like do a sick play, they just like type a bunch of
Yeah,
sixes across the screen.
yeah, it's like cheering.
Yeah, so it's different. Whereas like if Garrett or Andy make a sick play, it's just the chat just like goes nuts, but there's nothing on the screen that signifies that it's like. But the thing on the screen is like at a normal sport when the crowd just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
crazy.
you can add those
Yeah.
add-ons.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We'll do that.
Do it for your friends. You're like,
So do you still play League, or you?
I do. It's still my hobby of choice currently, aside from doing active things.
Peak rank?
I'm in gold now.
Okay.
I only started playing ranked seriously last season. Started last season-ish.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna definitely invite like Cloud9 TSM ball on a future date, so I'll let
Cool.
you know
Yeah, please do. I'd love to take some
some of their money.
Cloud9 money.
Um, yeah, I mean,
Have they expressed interest? Are there lots of
I
poker
talked
players?
to I forgot his name, C4.
Tom?
No, Tom C3.
Oh, Matt.
Matt, yeah,
Yeah,
Matt.
Matt's
He's support. He played support for one of the
great.
teams,
Uh,
but
TL Academy.
yeah. So I don't know if I mentioned this on the stream. I probably have at some point. The lead programmer for League of Legends was a rival of mine during my StarCraft days. Yeah, Tom
Ooh.
Cadwell. So shout out to him. Shout out to Zilius. Zillion was actually the champion is actually named after him.
Zillion from League of
Yeah,
Legends? Oh, interesting.
yeah. So and he designed Annie. He might have designed Morgana as well.
Okay.
And I don't know which. I mean, he's
So
got.
he's
You
been
can just
there
Google
since
him.
like day
Yeah,
one.
yeah. He's been there really early. He went to MIT and then he went to was it Kellogg Business School? Which one? I forgot where that one's located. Anyway, he's highly educated. Good stuff. Shout to Tom Cadwell.
Zillion's so annoying to play against, though.
Yeah. Revival or the bombs on the head? Which part?
Yeah, so much spam.
So yeah, I had already mentioned to him. I know a few other people like to work at Riot, but definitely reached out to him for interest, and I actually considered working for Riot Games, as did you, at some point. I got rejected flat out. You want to tell your story? Or?
So when my friend found out I wanted to work at Riot, she had two connections, one of which was Tom Martell, who was also in this esports poker game.
Yep, he's a Magic Gathering legend, C3 in the game.
And so even though there's like a ton of positions on the Riot job posting page, I just didn't feel like there was something perfect for me. As a poker player, you feel very overqualified for certain positions and very underqualified for other positions.
It's a fair assessment. Yeah.
Yeah, and so even though, I talked to a few of the hiring people at Riot, those were just didn't seem to be something perfect for me. I'm still open to it.
Riot Games, she's still open to it. I actually, one of my good friends and former boss, Bob Kaleko, who used to work at Blizzard, is Squaresoft now, was at Riot. So when he was there, thanks for gifting me RP, by the way, but also like let me in the tournaments, and I met him there, and I brought one of the props here as well to the tournament. So it was like a totally different landscape than it was when I was active, and just like it's crazy. Like these guys get like so excited, and there's like a small stage, and yeah, I don't know, it was pretty awesome. And then I think this is maybe season 5, like they were redoing the user interface, user experience, and Tom Cadwell connected me to some of the guys, and they were just like, I was giving Tom Cadwell feedback, and then he just sent me to the guys. He's like, guys, listen to this guy. I'm like, I'm been active in a while, but I'm just giving a couple, tidbits. But, it's easier to tell people what's wrong. It's more work to actually do it. So I was like, just take it or leave it. I know it's like, a lot of work, but that's basically the gist of that. I still follow the scene like relatively, sporadically, especially during the World Championships times. And
Do you still play StarCraft or?
No, I definitely don't play
No?
StarCraft. It's too depressing because, yeah, I just can't.
Because you're not as good as you used to be? So
Yeah, yeah, it's just too hard. Like it's. I had like last Monday the podcast. I had Colleen Long. She used to compete in golf, and we were talking about it. It's just like it's too hard. Like these are great memories, and I'm glad I have the stuff. But even when I was like 25, you can't play it. You're just too slow. It's like seriously, you got to be like a teen, like late teens, early 20s. League of Legends, the actions per minute requirement's lower, so it's not as bad. But StarCraft, I want to promote it as much as the hardest esport, but it's always up for debate because you could always do something. But in like League of Legends, there's downtime. There's times where you don't have to do anything. Yeah, and the roles are split in League of Legends. So you have support, ADC, jungle, mid and top. Whereas StarCraft, you have to do everything. Right. You have to
everything's on you.
So I don't want to like.
Blame.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of the things like Doug Polk mentioned something about esports, about like StarCraft falling out of favor versus League of Legends. One of the reasons I cited was because in League of Legends, if you win, you could claim it was all you, or if you lose, you could blame your teammates. It's kind of like poker. Like if you win, oh, I'm the best ever. If you lose, oh, I run so bad. This guy's so lucky, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, humans are so simple.
Yeah, so that's basically why I think that League of Legends overtook StarCraft for like the top esport and the top most viewed esport. And yeah, I don't know. I think Riot's doing a good job anyway. So one of the reasons that League of Legends also did better is lowering the skill cap. So when you do game design, you have kind of appreciation for the small things that a company does to like make it more user friendly or to make the game more fun. One of the things that League of Legends does over like Heroes of New Earth, Dota 2, the original Dota, is they have at least one champion in every role that any monkey can play.
Sure.
So that is by design, so that if you have 5 people and one person may not be playing with a full deck, you could be like,
but they can still make a difference in the game.
Exactly. Yeah. They can still contribute, so everybody has fun. Yeah. So, like, you could just be like, hey, just use Garen top, or just use Sona bottom, and then, just slam the keyboard, and, good things happen.
That's true.
Spin to win, or,
And there's so much variety.
Right. So that's a high appreciation that League of Legends did. That I think they lowered the skill cap for some champions, and I don't know if you remember the MOBAs. Like you could creep deny your opponents, where League of Legends you can't do that.
No.
So that's more user friendly because if you suck at the game, and your opponent keeps like denying you resource, you're like, F this, throw the mouse.
It's a
It's
different
like,
game.
yeah, yeah. But I'm just citing several things that might have helped League of Legends get to where it is.
100%. But having said that, when World of Warcraft dumbed things down for the noobs, it kind of killed the game. So
Okay, I want to hear your opinion on that. And they just re-released World of Warcraft
yeah,
Classic, right?
no chance I'm getting into that. My sister did, and yeah, that was when I absolutely had no life
Okay.
in college. It was just World of Warcraft, poker, go to classes a couple times a week.
A couple is not bad when World of Warcraft is involved.
Yeah.
I know several of my friends who may have gone to less classes than 2 weeks. Or a year for that matter. So World of Warcraft was your favorite in the end?
Historically, yes, I've spent still definitely way more hours playing World of Warcraft than any other game.
So I'm not that familiar with World of Warcraft. So what did you like go on raids
Yeah,
or PvP or which
I
part?
I had my own guild for a part of it after Burning Crusade came out. Before that, in Vanilla WoW, I was in a pretty top tier raiding guild.
You want to
Yeah.
shout them out or
Uh,
no?
no.
Okay. Did you like talk voice with them or was it all typing back then?
I was on vent, barely spoke. I was like one of the newer recruits,
Okay.
but yeah,
All
it was
right.
kind of intimidating.
All right. Okay. Okay. We just want to give you a chance to see, what the history is. But now League of Legends, everybody's on. I mean, they has their own voice in-game client now. Yeah. So
Yes.
before, I think people were using Curse, and before that, I don't even know. It's
People
been
are
a while.
all the cool kids are using Discord.
Oh yeah, Discord now. Uh, yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do for League of Legends? You're at gold. You got a ways to go.
I don't know if I have the physical capacity to get beyond gold, to
I
be
understand.
completely honest. I will keep trying. Maybe when I'm 40, I'll get there.
I'm already at 40. And
Maybe, all the players are going to be gone and, the top tier players are going to be moving on to Fortnite and then, gold will be platinum. So,
it's gotten tougher, in my opinion. Like, I have a lot of work for here, there, everywhere. So anytime it's hard, the other discouraging thing to go back is one, the patches. So the items keep changing, the champions keep changing.
yeah.
And then just like when you're not in practice, you just like miss all the time. And you just like break a mouse every single time. It's worse than online poker.
You
So,
should talk to someone about that.
okay. It's,
At least these mice are pretty cheap.
yeah. Yeah, to just get the cheap mice and then, whatever. I keep Logitech in business, all right?
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's I want to get the teams with high viewership on Live with the Bike, so get as much crossover as possible.
Do it. Oh my gosh. So excited.
Do you have a favorite team? Or?
TL right now.
Okay. Do you all about Americas or just want the best team to win or?
I mean, only because their games are usually on a time zone when I'm awake.
Okay.
If there's like a good LCS match, LC, the
LCS.
Chinese.
Oh,
No,
whoa, sorry. Yeah.
the Chinese side match, then I'll watch that too. I'm pretty excited for finals.
Okay. So you're still in Toronto?
Yes. Toronto is where I grew up. My roots are there, my family, my closest friends. I don't think I'll ever permanently leave Toronto. I'll always have a base there. Right now, I am kind of exploring the West Coast, which is kind of tricky because I just started a commercial real estate career in Toronto that I actually really like. But right now I'm kind of in between closing a deal and I have some free time, which is
Okay.
why I'm here exploring the West Coast.
So for the audience that doesn't know, real estate's usually between commercial and residential. So residential real estate's like selling homes to like families that heavily relies on like connections and just like social stuff. Commercial real estate is like you got to sell the big skyscraper to somebody
Maybe
who
one
wants it.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lot of money if you're
There is a lot of money,
yeah.
but you also have to really put in the
Oh yeah.
legwork, and there's lots of schmoozing and
I have a buddy,
research.
at least one buddy in commercial real estate, and you just like people just like screw with you like all the time, like
Yeah.
spamming prices and like and just like lowball you or just like
Hmm.
talk big and don't have my oh no, unlike poker. Oh damn.
I mean, I actually really enjoy the negotiation part of real estate. It kind of reminds me of poker, if you know someone's bluffing
Hmm.
and
Do you have any
negotiating
cool
terms.
negotiating stories with real estate?
I mean, I don't think it's ethical for me to talk about my
Okay.
negotiation
All right.
tactics uh, with my clients.
Okay. That's fair. I'm just trying to get all the juicy stuff.
There, there are some juicy stories. Sorry.
Okay. So, you've played on camera before? Like
I
for a
have
live cash game live stream. You play on tournaments, right?
cash games. Not often on cash games. I mean, I used to Twitch a bit.
Oh, right. Yeah. I
Yeah,
forgot.
so
Yeah.
online I
Right.
played.
So how did you like this experience versus your other ones?
Um, I thought it was great. Obviously, I was the most experienced player at the table. So I kind of felt like I could have my way every time I was heads up in a pot with anyone.
But someone ran good.
Yes, Tom.
He played well too,
Yes,
but
he
he
did.
did run really good.
Hmm.
Shout out to Tom Martel.
He was the
Um,
only winner in that game.
I
Nine
thought some
players,
people.
one winner.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
thought some people win
No,
small. No.
Matt was up until the very last hand that I left him out of.
Um, I guess we covered like a lot of these topics. How do you think professional poker has changed since you've been active? Is like the games being tougher basically discouraging you, or you just like wanted to do other stuff?
A little of both. Win rates are definitely smaller than they used to be. And I just don't have like the energy and the drive to be a grinder anymore. I'm, in my mid 30s now, like my priorities change. Like traveling isn't a huge deal to me anymore. I've seen most of the places I've wanted to go. Um, and yeah, I can't sit at the poker table for like 12 hours straight anymore. So,
Oh yeah, like when they eject me, they're like, "Do you want to play?" I'm like, "No,
yeah,
I got stuff to do."
yeah.
But you mentioned for the tournament plays, you like South Africa's the best. Is that still?
Yeah, I love South Africa. The animals.
If you
Yeah,
want to see animals,
going
just
on
go to a poker table.
safaris. That's hilarious. They do smell about the same.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Okay. Um, oh yeah, okay. This is a big one, and we may want to do an interview in future in Chinese.
Ooh, oh gosh. I
Not
would
this
have to
one,
be
not this
doing
one.
more prep
Oh
for
yeah,
that
no, I
one.
need a prep too. Don't worry. I'm just
Hmm.
like, but I watched your Join Room pod, and a lot of us Asians like go through this difficulty of the poker, like just doing poker at all, dealing with our families,
Hmm.
and just like you, Kitty Quo, Maria Ho, a bunch of other guys, it's not like we abandon everything else. You know, it's just one of our many interests,
Hmm.
and then if we do well, it subsidizes for like other things.
Yeah.
And it's hard for our parents' generation to cope with that.
Hmm.
Um,
It's weird because, like, when you think Asians, you either think, gambling degens, or you think like the super straight, narrow,
yeah,
you know, um, get into the best schools, A plus, or you're disowned kind of lifestyle. Um, I would say my parents were a little of both. I'm sorry, they were not gambling DJ at all. That's they're definitely more of the second kind, but they definitely came around to it as they saw me have opportunities in traveling and when they came with me 1 year to WPT China in Sanya, they saw like my photo on like a billboard and
And
they're
that
like,
changed
"Oh,
their
I
mind.
guess
Yeah.
I guess like you're kind of a big deal here." At the time, not anymore. Now
You can
everybody
always
in
come
China just
back.
thinks I'm a backer at DGen because there was this
There's this
tabloid
ad.
thing that came out. Do you know
Really?
about
I
that?
didn't know about
Okay,
that.
I'm glad. Like doing the Google search of my name didn't
No, that didn't come up, but I'm definitely gonna search right now. I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Yeah, because like Kitty Quo came here to put on the stream, and interview her after, but we're gonna do a better job with that. So in 2009 she won like a tournament in Macau, and then it made newspapers all in Taiwan, and
Hmm.
like I know how it is. Like she got embarrassed, her family got embarrassed, and like
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is like so brutal. It's like you win something. Like shouldn't it be an honor in the human race when you like win something?
It's different though. Kitty Cole, her family is very well off and kind of prominent people within their community. And yeah, like I don't think my parents' friends knew about me playing poker until like 6 or 7 years into my career.
Oh,
Yeah.
I made a big mistake. I tried to be honest with them.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Whoa, guys, did you see that? That was like, yeah.
how old were you when you broke out the news to them?
25. I mean, the thing is, like, I started as a professional gamer, and
Okay.
they were already like
Oh, right.
not
So is
happy.
that better or worse?
It
Because you're actually doing it for more money,
it
right?
made me want to be more honest with them, but
Okay.
it ended up just not working. Like, it just wasn't happening, and I'm good with my mom now. I'm trying to communicate better with the rest of them, but it's just like I realize it's completely futile
Mm.
because my case is so drastic where I was number one in the world in several games, and I wasn't like so abysmal in other things. Like I was a programmer. I got into UC San Diego as computer science.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized in their mind, they're thinking, "Oh my gosh, there's hope." But I'm from Silicon Valley, Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
My programming ability is literally in the gutter compared to these guys. Like, I'm serious. Like I have the ability to look at PageRank, which is Google search engine, and if I look at it, I can understand it. But if you put me in a time machine and 25 years ago with this information, I'm not making Google. Like it's just
Sure.
not happening. But
You're being a bit hard on yourself now. No,
I'm Asian.
not that many people can make Google.
I understand, but like I'm saying that's like such a big difference of not unlike watching a hand played on of poker on, camera and actually executing it. It's a very big difference.
For sure.
With programming, there's no luck. You can't one outer.
Yeah.
But
You
it
just need like a very specific personality to like want to thrive and be very good at one thing.
yeah.
And I think for us, it was, more games related.
Yeah, so I was in like Wired, San Jose Mercury News. Obviously, I have the trophies. Like you can Google me, but to like my parents, that they're just like, get your degree, and I'm like, the internet's out. The degree's not going to be worth very much. Like whatever. I
But aren't you glad you have your degree?
yes,
Yeah.
but the thing is, I tell people it's defense. It's not a selling point. Whereas their generation, it was a selling point.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, I got it. I'm not dumb. Okay, it's
Hmm.
not has not indicative of you being like
Well, you
super.
can still be dumb and have a
That's
degree.
true, but it's just like
Just means you like completed this thing.
you just complete this thing, and it's it's a just a discipline exercise
Yeah,
more so than
exactly.
a how to say something to not than a selling point, I guess. So it was just too drastic of a swing because like, and I'm gonna be a bit harsh on myself, but like compared to the rest of the world, I might be a good programmer, but in Silicon Valley, none of my friends are gonna recommend me for anything. So, but that again, that's like the level difference of Silicon Valley compared to like the rest of the world.
Hmm.
And I kept trying to communicate that to my family. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just not going to mount anything in Silicon Valley. And it's a brutal swing because I was world class in something and I could have went down that career, but I chose not to, and I have insight on the industry which stays with me to this day. And I want to bring it to like a lot of the stuff that I'm involved in, whether it's poker, Hollywood, streaming, going back to being involved. But because our parents' generation did not grow up with internet, it's very difficult to communicate to them how the world has changed. And they
But they're
just,
coming around to it.
yeah, my mom has come around. She's kind of told me to give up on the rest of them. See, she's like tried really hard
The
because
rest
my
of
mom,
what?
like my family, like they're just like
Oh,
communicating
okay.
because she's like she gets it, she accepts it,
That,
and I'm like,
that's probably not bad advice. You can only,
yeah, no, she's
do what you
like,
know is right for yourself
I was
versus what
too
other people
optimistic
think.
and idealistic when I was, doing stuff, hoping they would come around, and then just like my mom's just like, drop it, it's not gonna happen,
Please
yeah,
everyone.
but um. It's definitely tough psychologically, but it's easier for me to use my past accomplishments as a selling point and to get meetings for people to listen to me versus, oh, I have a degree from, even if I went to Harvard, I just don't think that weight is like nearly as much as being like, okay, StarCraft world champion, let's get a meeting. Okay,
Depends
done.
on the meeting
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah,
going
yeah.
for, but
But especially in the gaming industry, but even in other industries, it's been just like an easy entry point to just, get in and talk at least. They may not like what I say or be interested, but as an actual achievement, it's definitely held more weight. As with being alive at the bike poker commentator. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but that was basically such a big swing, and once I realized that, I guess my mom and I are the only like that relationship, at least a solid. Because if you don't have a good relationship with, your parents, especially your mom, it's like, man, it's tough. Shout out to Lena Wang. We had this conversation outside yesterday. She's having issues with her and her mom, and she's trying to figure out what to do. So of course she comes to me because I'm the one that's just like full blown in the face with this stuff.
parents are tricky.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, the main point was I already gone through this. I already had world class level achievements, and then I communicated to them about poker. Paid my way through college, paid for my screenwriting training, paid my rent in Santa Monica. They still weren't having it, and that was it's just hard because
Were,
it's not.
were you living with them at the time?
No, I was living in Santa
Okay.
Monica, and I was paying for college in UCSD. Went to school with Maria,
Cool.
and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say because like after you like pay for everything and more, and get them stuff, then it's
Yeah.
like I don't know what more I could do. So
Asian parents mean well. They obviously love you. They just don't necessarily know what's best for you all the time.
oh
So,
man, I don't even know what the chat's gonna say or the. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah. So it was to the point where it was really bad, where like, and I'm not the only one this happened to. Like parents threatening to break up the family. It
oh,
was just like, and I realized history repeats itself because it's like, do you know the movie Last Emperor in China?
who's
You will know the
who's in
concept
that?
anyway. Basically the kingdom's failing, and they're telling the emperor, they're like, we got to change, like, this regime's taking over, and the emperor just like won't hear it. And he's like, I'm still king, I'm still emperor. Drink this ink, I'm emperor. It's the same concept. They just like
So
want,
stubborn,
yeah, and they just
set in
want to
their
assert
ways.
like that their way is right, and I just realized that's just what it is. And I was really blinded to it until it actually happened. And unfortunate things happen after. But
It's definitely
now
tough
we're
for
here.
their generation as well.
Yeah.
Like they probably, escaped, or it was really hard for them to like immigrate here. Um, and even though like they feel like they're providing us with a better life, they also don't want to seem like they're selling out to their history and culture, and so they want you to maintain like those values that they're often conflicted with as well.
Yep. That's pretty much the gist. And it's like in the midst of fighting it head on, I couldn't see like the bigger scope, I guess. And now that I see more of the scope, I've kind of let go of some, and I'll just, deal with the world
Hmm.
slowly and surely.
I like that approach.
When about over 20 years ago, when esports first started taking off, like I was one of the pioneers, and shout out to Dennis Fong Thresh, who did Plays. He's the CEO of Plays.tv. He was the first professional gamer, first Quake World Champion. We knew it would blow up, and it's not even close then. Esports is going to get bigger and bigger, but the transition is really tough. Like if you watch interviews of people on like CNN or other major channels, that when they talk about esports and try to explain it to like an older generation that didn't grow up with internet, they're just like, I have no
They're
idea
like,
why
it's
anyone
just
wants.
video games,
Yeah,
right? What's so fun about watching other people play video games?
yeah. But there's also like stories behind it. It's fun. It's just it's an evolution of entertainment competition
Hmm.
and just storytelling. Um, what's not an esports, just a video game, Final Fantasy VII. Did you play?
I did play that on my PlayStation.
So the remake's coming out on March 3rd,
Hmm.
or just March next year. When it was first announced a couple of years ago, people were like, "Oh my God!" And then they started crying on, and like I
They're so
was,
dramatic.
yeah, I was like, "This is awesome." But then when they started crying, I was like, "Damn, I'm gonna start crying now," because it's like, because they were like good memories, and it was like a
Yeah.
different era. The
Hmm.
story was awesome. No spoilers, but some parts in the game are just like, "Oh no way!"
Hmm.
So I understand why they were like that, but it's just like, um, for people who haven't played the game, it's hard. Excuse me, it's hard for them to envision why anyone would be so dramatic and emotional over
Hmm.
these pixels on a screen.
Well, it's like a movie, but interactive.
Right. Is exactly like that for role-playing games. And then for esports like League of Legends and StarCraft, it's a blend between like a story and sports slash competition. So you get
Hmm.
attached to some of the competitors, you get attached to the game, you want to see how some of the top players are playing,
Yep.
and a lot of personalities are involved, like, the streaming, which that's why how it is popular today, and I don't think it's going to stop. There's so many more formats to explore in the future, but
Hmm.
it takes work to build them. And one thing that I think sports athletes have been coached better than esports people are the personalities. Like the
Hmm.
people who compete, they need to be coached better on like how to deal with the public or how to be on
Yeah.
camera. And then I think it'll be a lot better.
Hmm.
And people have always been trying to find several or just like people to be proper ambassadors.
Hmm.
So in South Korea, there were a lot of like StarCraft players, like Slayer's Boxer, Jaedong, a ton of them that you can admire them for their awesome ability. Slayer's Boxer had personality, but it's hard for the rest of the world to kind of understand if they don't speak the language
Hmm.
or just understand why his personality is cool, I guess.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
and
I
rant.
mean, there's like a lot of overlap with like esports athletes and poker players, especially like younger ones. Like when you spend that much time being good at one specific skill set, like oftentimes, your social skills um, kind of, yeah, fall behind. And yeah, they definitely need coaches and managers
And
to
that a
make
lot
them
of that
promotable.
developed. Like it was just starting to come out when I was doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But now they have teams, they have coaches, they have yeah, let's they have actual companies and franchises and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
actual support. So we like mixed up a bunch of stuff, but ended up covering just about everything. So I'm gonna get some questions from the chat, and then we will go on to your. You were very active that day,
Which
the last Thursday in Live at the Bike.
I was the second most active. I was beep-bipping 33, 32. Tom was like in his 50s.
Tom, the Killer Cam 918. Xuan, what are your poker goals for next year?
Poker goals.
Yeah.
It's a pretty low bar, I guess, but I've never cashed a main event, WSOP. And before I die, I know I'm gonna final table that event, so one step at a time.
You're the only woman to Final Table main event plays here, Barbara.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I played with her yesterday.
Oh,
I'm gonna get her on
awesome.
the show too.
Great.
She's actually really funny. Like,
I should get some tips.
yeah, sure. Um, she's very witty and very funny, actually. I can't remember off the top of my head some of her lines, but we definitely crack up at the table. Daniel Kim asked Schwan, what aspects of the poker grind do you miss the most?
That's a really good question. Um, I guess the ritual aspect. Um, just like waking up, mentally preparing myself, like going for a good breakfast, workout, and then being prepared to like sit at the table, whether it's online or live, for like 12 hours straight to play optimal poker. And like the days leading up to it, if you travel to like one poker event every 4 or 6 weeks or something, just the anticipation I kind of miss.
Metal Doctor says Xuan Liu is pretty legit. Mike Doolin, please tell her we want to see her playing more, blogging more, anything we really want to see.
Thanks, Mike. That's very sweet.
JRB53, Xuan seems pretty smart and cool.
I'm fooling everyone.
This is how the bluffing starts. So I say this, they were like, when I wear glasses, people are like, Wayne, you should wear glasses more. You look smarter. I'm like, then I'm just like fooling everybody, right? Crazy Ray says, Wayne's the man, Wayne Chang for Prez. Sid Thinks says, how are you going to say you didn't get good grades but went to Waterloo?
Oh, I got good grades going into Waterloo. I had a full scholarship and everything. And just while I was there, I was like, this is bullshit. I'm not learning anything useful.
What's up,
Go
Intramorph?
jam some WoW.
Sid thinks, yes, she plays League. Sid thinks, yes, she played Classic WoW.
I did play Classic WoW. hmm
Yong Chen says, Ni
My
hao.
main was a druid, a night elf druid, and a shadow priest.
Young Chen asks, Wayne, when are you going to play poker on the stream? I've been on around 100 episodes. I post all my major hands on YouTube, so... But I will come back. I play like a couple times a year. It's just the lists are just like too long, and like I can't bump anybody. Like when people wanted, it was like, go ahead,
Oh,
like
I
you
feel so
first.
special. I just got into LA and Wayne was nice enough to invite me. Wait, should I have kept that secret?
No,
Okay.
I mean, like if you have presence on the internet, you definitely get a high priority.
Oh, okay.
If you're Googleable. Um, let's see.
Chad is so great.
Yeah. What's up, Taylor Carroll? He's modded now. Twins Guns LLP. My God, she's gorgeous.
Thank you.
We're getting awkward with these comments.
Not.
No, you must hear them
That's
a
like
lot. Yeah.
Chinese thing, gotta be
Got it. Got it.
humble,
Right.
but
Right.
also embarrassed and, you know, blushing under the blush.
Quiet, can you hear the 3-6? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, legit players, started from the bottom. So,
That 2-5 game at Brantford Casino. 2-5 limit.
5. Wow. Jamal Smitty, she Chinese? Yes. Well, should let
Yes,
you answer that
Mandarin
one.
Chinese. Born in Tianjin, China.
Jeff Zelensky. Hi, Wayne. Very fond of Xuan and her poker play. She has a lot of class.
Thanks, Jeff. That's very sweet.
So one funny thing with Joe Ingram's pod is your handle is like XX something, and I guess like Joey was like, "Oh, what's this X?" And then you were like, "My first name is Xuan, like
Yeah,
Xuan." And
they're
then in
just my
Chinese,
initials.
yeah,
Yeah,
in Chinese, it's
it,
people. It's a colloquial thing to just like do double of what.
exactly.
And then when I saw that, I'm like, "Oh, I should have known this."
Yeah, it seems exotic or like X-rated or
Right.
something. It's really not.
Mike Hex, why is Xuan working Roche?
Rosh
Hashing?
Hashanah.
Oh,
Wasn't yesterday Rosh Hashanah?
I
I'm
don't know.
not Jewish. Some of my best friends are, but
Oh.
I am not a Chinese Jew.
Crazy Ray, Wayne, why are you sweating so much? People ask me this every single.
It's
These
hot in
lights are
here.
very hot, and it's also hot in the live at the bike room because of the lights. So I say this every show.
I
But
do.
you know, it's you. We have to have the
I
lights.
can confirm. I
Yeah.
watched the episode with Athena, and you said the same thing.
What's up, Damon Santora? Stopping by, showing support. Daniel Kim Schwan, where did you go in South Africa? I'm involved in a nonprofit there and been to a number of safaris. Which safaris have you been to?
So it was near Johannesburg. It was about an hour and a half away. Started with a P. So the organizer of WPT South Africa was gracious enough to invite a whole group of poker players and set everything up for us. I went twice because I had such a good time the first time. Can't remember the exact safari off the top of my head. It wasn't huge, but we got so lucky with our sightings. Waking up at 5 a.m. and even our guide said he had never seen a pack of wild dogs like in all the years he's been there, like go on a hunt. And like we got that. And we saw cheetahs, which are, naturally very elusive. And so, yeah, I don't know if I just ran really good on the safaris, but yeah, that made the experience incredible. What kind of nonprofit do you work for?
Look at the chat. I mean, I'm scrolling down. Damon Santor says, Wayne, I want to give you the biggest hug. All right, let's hug it out.
All Asian kids need hugs.
Yeah, that is
Need
true.
more hugs. At least in our generation. I think the next one will be better.
Yeah. Twin Guns LLP. Wayne with that 1,000-yard stare? I don't even know what that is. Crazy Ray, can someone bring Wayne water, please? No, we got water. We got water. I prepare all
We
the
have like
guests.
3 different types of water.
Yeah. And Red Bull gives you wings. Shout out to Red Bull.
You're well hydrated. I'm drinking warm water because I'm Chinese.
A007AZ123. Wayne looks nervous. Hugely
It's the
nervous.
heat.
I'm glistening? I don't even know.
Should we move on to some hand histories?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
excited about
sorry.
these. No, why are you apologizing? It's your
No,
show.
I was trying to. No, you're the guest. You're the VIP.
Shuttle.
So this is the eSports game last Thursday. I don't want to get anyone's name wrong. I definitely know C3's Tom Martell, and C6 is Ruthless. And C9, I don't recognize her. Oh, Xuan, C9. Okay. 6-5 of hearts on the button. Raising it up. I definitely know this hand. So, wow. Knit roll, knit fold, pocket twos. I'm just kidding. Piscator Josh, ace jack off on the big blind.
Ran like God in Magic, and it looks like he runs just as good in poker.
You have to run good in Magic,
Quite well
no doubt.
tonight.
Tom Martell, the Underground Straddle, calls 3-5 of spades, which is known as the Punisher at Commerce Casino. Three
Why?
ways.
Three ways
Huh?
to this
The
one.
Punisher. It just is. I don't know.
Apparently, it's also known as the Juggernaut in
I did not
the
know.
Magic community.
Flops the flush draw.
Oh, yeah, because Juggernaut's 5-3. Did you know that?
Everybody else with
I learned that
Oh, okay.
after this hand, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay. That is true. It's the most
Not this
iconic
hand, another
5-3.
time with Tom's 5-3 offsuit hand where he turned the gut shot
So what do you think about the C-bet here?
versus Bryce.
So check to Xuan, who C-bets. Continuation bet 70 into 125. Tom with a flush draw with the Juggernaut.
For sure. It's just three ways, so that's the only
This hand's
concern, I
not that
guess. But
exciting.
you're still probably
I just
gonna
want to
beat
show how
this
lucky
pot
Tom got.
with the C-bet a decent
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, technically, yeah, they're both the blinds, so no doubt. Not gonna get a hand like 5-3 spades.
Tom
Fold doesn't
calls.
work.
Xuan turns the backdoor heart draw and a straight draw.
Eight of hearts.
Tom checks.
Now with the gut shot and flush draw. Sorry, say again.
Tom was the only winner in that table of 9.
225.
I think he was up like $4,000.
He was up a lot for
Yeah.
sure.
I was down like a couple hundred, and everyone else was stuck.
And Tom gets there. No, I'm just gonna say Tom gets there a lot in this set of videos.
Oh, deuce of spades on the turn or on the river. Can Tom ever lose a major pot? Is it possible?
No.
See, even your guys are like trash talk.
Xuan with nothing.
Absolutely
Were you
not.
considering a call here?
Creative to take the shot down.
JK. Okay. Tom won.
They used to have one menu. I was profiles what you saying? Like the
That's
Asian
small bet too.
place, whatever. Awesome food, and then you can't get that anymore unless you ask.
So what, you can still
So
It's
Xuan
not
with her
on.
4-4.
Can I still get
Make
you
sure all your kids
Turn
don't
it
throw.
out, right?
Okay, so I
Yes.
specifically asked for that.
Oh, spoilers. You want to just fast forward these?
No, I want the food that matters.
Oh.
I had to just like jam a bunch of your hands in and then just, whatever you're feeling. I mean, it was a
French fries.
raising the hijack,
Brunch.
called by Josh on the button. Ace deuce of hearts. Matt defends in the big blind. Queen jack off, and you just decide to check paired board. No c-bet here
I have seen people lie on stream.
Um,
because you knew you were going to turn the full house.
I'm not quite sure what Josh's flatting range there is. I think versus most of it, or versus some of it he's floating, or he should be floating. I'm happy to just keep the pot pretty small.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Wow, Taco.
And then get there. Just kidding. So I think
I
this
had
was
best
one of
hand
the
whole time.
yeah. This was
I'm gonna try to hold it down.
so Tafo raising the button, king 10 of diamonds. You flatten the small blinds. Do you ever consider 3-betting here, or you just want to? Oh,
I definitely threw bet. The
Oh,
graphic is wrong. right
okay.
now, but they
oh,
fixed
there you go. All right.
it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the graphics are done real time, and they're sometimes wrong. So, JK, you did 3-bet.
Do you have stats for 3-betting percentages for the table?
We would if it was live.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, it would not. It's just PFR, pre-flop raise. Yeah, eventually we're just going to get more and more stats and just have Poker Tracker on you. So you see bet, continuation bet, Tafo calls with 2 overcards, backdoor, flush draw.
Suited here from the small. Alpha pilled with king 10 suited.
8s and 2s with a 6 kicker.
He's going to call her bet on the flop of 65, just with the 2 overs. Top pair is good for the moment for Xuan. Let's see if she wants to bet again.
Tasso has about No, the graphics wrong. He looks like.
Yeah, he's got like 500.
Did you think he would call the flop with king ten of diamonds?
With a backdoor flush draw, he definitely should call there with king 10 of diamonds. He's definitely weighted towards higher cards at this point.
I imagine she's betting
He
here
just
for some
hammer, and he's
value
gonna
and
give it up.
protect her hand from random overcards.
Easy game.
Easy game for Tom. So Bryce, he's the guy that hosts your game, right?
Yeah.
So shouts him.
Bryce is an amazing poker host. I've only been to the home game once, but it was a ton of fun.
I'm exploitable if I just.
I'm quite sad Bryce is actually moving away soon, so Tom might have to start hosting these games.
I feel like there's like
I heard Tom Martell lives next to Brian Kibler now. Do you know who Brian Kibler is? Yeah.
Yeah, I was at a dinner party at Brian's a few days ago.
Brian huge. Used to be huge in Magic, huge in Hearthstone now.
Raise it up.
So there's just small blind against something on straddle.
Let me get the Devontae out.
And did you get a live read here? He check raised you?
Bryce and I did have a little bit of history. Obviously, a suited ace here in what's essentially a blind versus blind is very good. One of the last hands of the night in the home game I was playing against him, I think I said something about how, at a certain level in poker, you make the most money by folding or something. And he proceeded to, pull this really silly bluff that didn't make any sense and got me to fold in the spot. So I definitely know Bryce. He's capable of making moves in spots like this with hands that are out of range for this line.
So when you face a check raise, or anyone faces a check raise on 4 deuce deuce, people who play their hands willingly are not usually playing cards in this range. And even if you have a monster hand, like say pocket fours or ace deuce, hearts or something, are you really check raising there? That's, reasonable call down by Xuan, especially with inside information on Bryce. So the spade does fall on the river, which you can't be too happy about.
No.
But he gives up.
Yeah, I was fairly confident my ace high was there, good there, but obviously if you put out another bet, I would have a hard time calling. But I might still just flick it in.
First, the rivalry.
The good thing about this table is that, they're all very bright guys, but I think a lot of live poker elements they were not completely versed in, so my live tells definitely gave me advantage in a lot of these spots.
Do you have any resources to recommend for live reads or tells?
Just keep in mind people said that about shooters, and it's
I've read a lot of books on live tells. I remember the last one I read was probably one of the Navarro books, that CIA agent. But a lot of those have been debunked. I think the best way is to generally get a baseline for a person and just see their demeanor, their speech pace, all the micro actions they take when they do have something in a small pot and a big pot, and then compare that if you're in a tricky spot against them to their baseline, to their previous baseline.
So Bryce is going to raise here, pocket nines. You 3-bet in position, suited 1 gapper. Unfortunately, Matt coming in with ace queen suited. I mean, he must have thought you 3-bet light, right? You should
Yeah,
probably.
but ace queen suited is also a very good hand. I would never fold here if I was Matt.
Bryce opens the pocket
I
nines.
would definitely 4-bet
Xuan
at some
comes in with
frequency.
3-bet
Unfortunately, it was just too large for me to call,
Matt
Right.
big blind.
considering he only had 700 back here.
Old force, ace queen suited.
I
kids that are playing.
Because I'm also a total.
okay. This is the most interesting hand, I guess. Tried to throw you under the bus.
That's okay.
So raising up with a suited 2-gapper, Jack 8 suited mid position, and Piscator Josh with 10s. The cutoff.
He played this hand fairly well. It was definitely not what I expected on the turn.
Xuan with the Jack 8 suited.
Josh flats at the cutoff.
He makes it 30 to go.
Ruthless, who set up this game,
It looks
on
like
the gun straddle,
Josh
calls
just
hashtag
tens.
pot odds and applied odds. 3 to a flop. Ruthless checks to the pre-flop razor, and she checks,
Ace 9 Jack flop. So
checked
Jack eight
around.
Gonna outflop the tens.
2 pair for
Ten on the
Xuan.
turn now. 2 pair.
Josh had been playing pretty snug.
Give Josh an open ender.
100.
Pot size bet. 100 to 100.
Josh has the type of hand that you might want to bluff with if you are deeper,
Shout out
but
to Psalm, who's like
with only $445,
got second. Coming from Heroes
you're not
of
going to be able
Storm
to get
and
any hands to fold.
Yeah. And he just started playing League for like the first
Maybe
time.
he
and
thinks
he's,
he
like,
has
diamond after like
the
a
right
month.
price to
Wait, 220.
And Josh,
I think X Smithy is like one of the
hashtag semi-bluff. And of course, facing a raise, 2 pair there. Isn't that great of a hand?
No, yeah, I have one of the weaker 2 pairs, and
You just didn't think that.
yeah, I mean, good for him that he's doing it with a semi-bluff. He also, had a stack size, and his check raise size was pretty committal. And some newer players, they like try to trap you with that size. And I guess I just like read too much into it. Having said that, my hand's just way too weak.
And
Either
we
way.
all make
Say, I
mistakes.
recognize
I've done
as well.
a
I don't
million
even think
times
that's a
worse
huge
things.
mistake.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a
I
lot
don't
of
think
my
so
range,
either.
right?
It's just like when the viewers see it, it's like, backseat
Sure.
driver.
Fair.
this year on day 2 with Chris.
I mean, oftentimes, like, hands on the stream when, like, a hand's going down and somebody's, like, raising with the worst hand, I'm like, I'm fine with the guy folding who is the original better, because, like, it's easy to see the cards, and then, but if you're in that person's position, you just, like, try to envision yourself, and you're like, that's fine. Yeah.
I had 7 big blinds.
Squeaked into the money.
This is a Tom Martell winning hand, I think.
Better than something out of money.
I had high
Bryce, who raises
top 150 stack.
King Jack,
Top
Xuan 3 bets in possession, King 9, spades, and Tom Martell in the small blind.
That's how it goes.
Gonna call.
So far, every time I play cash games with Tom, he stacks me for like a full stack.
What a luck sack.
200 big blinds.
GG on
Chopper?
Actually, MLG, live stream things ever was when I went.
Taylor says, hey, Jared, sick jam with pocket tens the other night.
So, I think before this hand started, or before the flop came out, Tom said that this hand was for Chopper, Riot Chopper.
Oh.
He's head of NA LCS.
Oh, okay. Is that his favorite hand or something?
Chopper just shows up with, really random holdings, loves to play like the smaller suited cards, and rarely folds on his shadows.
So you see bet, straight and flush draw, setting up for a jam if needed, which pretty much happens. Spoilers.
325.
Xuan, no.
So check and raise by Tom.
And a flush draw with a king 9 suited, a really strong hand.
Got a couple options.
That's 100, and Tom going to make the raise with the 6s. They're essentially flipping here, but I'm not sure.
All you can eat.
Say, I imagine Xuan is going to win this hand because
At least you made him think.
shove.
Yeah,
How do you like his call?
I think it's fine once he check raises to that size. Him calling the 3-bet pre is questionable.
Let me see my backdoor draw. No, I just have the front draw. Oh my god, that was how much more?
After he puts that much in, I think he has to call it off here.
Spot for him here. I mean, this is probably the best case scenario.
Especially with this run out.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
4 outs.
So you're facing 6,
Sorry, 8 outs.
55.
Yeah, it's lucky in this scenario, yeah, that the 9 is
655.
Just like see what straight. Like you just, I feel like you just get it.
eliminates one of Schwann's out, makes the flip, but yeah, this is literally like
Oh, Josh's in the chat. Piscator1234.
Oh, hey.
Like at that table, especially like.
I mean, this is a true choppering. I've definitely choppered it.
Do you have a pair?
Yes. Was just deal out dead hands and run flops and stuff like that, just to like get.
Yeah, we apologize. Sorry, we apologize if the graphics or numbers are off, which is why it's great that you're here to clarify anything. Or if you're in the hand in the chat, let us know. You want to start? Go ahead.
Oh, at this point, you know, I was actually
a little ambitious because
trying to like convince him to fold because, you know, anything he has probably has enough
Equity
versus me.
see a turn for cheap,
But
relatively, but
Tomorrow?
I should have like pulled out a guilt card or something.
I don't like it. I think you should
Tomorrow will be 5,100 with the
maybe some weak flush
$10,000.
draws.
He's already trending that way.
Or something, but this is just seems like a really weird hand to do with.
You could play 3 big.
yeah, and he's put himself into a pretty tricky
That was pretty, like...
You guys want to show?
Alright, let's see how good Tom runs.
He's going to be happy to see what he's up against, and you can see Xuan is very surprised that she was called here.
Yeah.
9 on the turn. Gives
Easy
Tom
game,
straight.
Tom.
Feels like
You guys run it twice?
got 2
Oh, just once.
No, he asked
Yeah,
to.
it really does.
And you said no?
Feels like really
We weren't allowed to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a jackpot game. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I forget. Yeah, jackpot games you're not allowed to run it twice because it screws up the jackpot.
Interesting. Do we have the option to make it not a jackpot game?
To play poker
You probably have to request it beforehand.
Okay. We also wanted to play 7 deuce, but they wouldn't let us.
No. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. It's
Oh, okay.
like it's because the communication's here in the streams and like yeah, there's a lot of issues.
Got it. Because
They used to
in
run
your
it.
interview with,
Yeah, Athena.
yeah, you guys were talking about that.
Yeah, so
Her playing 7 deuce.
there's several things due to like, you know, stream logistics that we just like don't do anymore.
Pretty dusty though. Not much
Obviously we'd like to, but
I haven't
it's
played up there much, but I heard there's
That's
some
probably
some
the
area
element of
too
the
about
home game that makes it the most fun.
Matrix and
right.
Yeah,
At prices.
for sure.
There's just anything
Sacramento too at the,
where you have options to make the
Stones
spice up the
and,
game,
Underbelly.
throw people off and
But still, it's just
get
not-
wild action. It's always good,
Really
but
wanted to actually make a living
when you
doing
work
it,
within the casino, there are actually like
travel
rules
there.
and things to
You could
make
live in
things
LA,
easier
Vegas,
that
and never go
after you work in the casino industry, you're like when you're a player, you're like, oh, it's a stupid rule. Why don't they allow straddles and stuff like that? But then after you work in the industry, you realize why it's like this. So you flop top pair,
Now top 2 pair and Blinky with the nut flush draw.
now top 2 pair, and blinking with enough flush draw. All right, just take my job away. So one of the reasons that some places don't allow straddles
55,
is because the dealer turnover is very high. So the less responsibilities you give the dealer, I'm serious.
Oh boy.
It's because when the
Such
dealer,
a minor thing.
it is, but the thing is, it's just one more thing that they have to do, and one more thing they get yelled at if they don't do.
can't imagine
Got
Blinky.
it.
So it is what it is. I don't know what to say.
He is
It's
Blinky
not
a decent
Tarm.
amount.
Not Tom
Not Big
Marchese.
Cheese.
Yeah.
It's Tom Martell.
If there's another reason his nickname is Blinky besides that, you guys let me know, but I'm assuming it's because he blinks a lot. So far, it's holding.
Who's this Tom guy? Go Google Tom Martell. He's got like a Wikipedia and like pages. He's a Magic the Gathering legend.
Yeah, this is the eSports poker game we played on Thursday.
We'll have more of these guys back, as well as more streamlined and focused.
Everyone here is
people.
a part of eSports.
Oh,
go time.
this is not going to work.
Were you considering folding for
Different 2
0 seconds?
again,
You still take your time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting that baseline.
Because
Right.
the raise here is so unexpected.
Something you learn as you get more experience is just to not,
Surprised she hasn't
even though you 99.9% not going to fold, still take your time, just in case they accidentally flip over their cards and show pocket fours.
And everybody had been playing
Yeah,
pretty snug at that
she does
point.
make the call. Feldman had the nuts on that hand. I mean, that was just ridiculous, Feldman.
No way I can fold here,
Seven,
obviously.
up diamonds. Not gonna
Josh
do it.
Stringer, yes. Tom Martell, the Magic Gathering player. I also mentioned to Tom to reach out to Brian Kibler as well as some other people to get a Magic the Gathering game on here. So, a lot of Magic Gathering players and start with poker because it's like just a natural transition.
Wait, don't you mean the other way around?
Magic the Gathering players transition into poker.
Oh, yeah. Not
It's, because Magic the Gathering players are broke and need money, and it's just like a random number, or there's a lot of random elements in both games. So it's easy transition.
Ace-Jack suited.
This one was reasonably interesting. So Bryce raising the cutoff, Queen Jack off, Xuan 3-bets on a small blind, Ace Jack of clubs. Bryce calls.
What do you think of this call here on the button? It's a little bit too loose.
Yeah, you're going to run into a lot of hands that dominate you. You're not suited. It's just better to
Bryce
fold.
flops open-ended, so favorable
But
flop
he does flop
for
an
him.
over-ender. One of the best flops he can hope for.
Especially when she's making it 4x.
Right.
Small blind.
And that's the point. When you 3-bet from the small blind there, you got to size it up at least a little bit, maybe even more than that.
Just like, oh, like it's like I can't even feel like sometimes it's like I just want to look at this and I went here and now.
This is kind of an interesting spot with Bryce's stack. I wanted to size my C-bet, so I'm not necessarily priced in. Obviously, I want to see the turn in the river with my backdoor draws, but it's not an ideal flop for me.
Right. I mentioned on the stream previously, like, the proactive preflop raiser when it's like a top 7, top 9 hand, something like 10-9 rag, 10-8 rag, 9-8 rag are very awkward because the unmade hands don't hit that, and a lot of people playing the mid-range hands either hit that or hit a draw. So C-bet $85, as Xuan explained, has to do with the stack size, stack to pot ratio, and how Bryce plays his hand / continues, because Xuan would like to see a turn.
I think this is a fine C-bet.
Doesn't want to see a queen in this case, but a queen wouldn't be too unfavorable. Club's nice, Jack's nice, Ace nice.
Mostly to just call. There's not a ton of value we have here. I mean, like,
And Bryce opts to call, so
Yeah.
the bet sizing
9-10.
slows him down from raising, or else it would just kind of commit. So unfortunately, Bryce picks up a queen,
Diamonds on the turn.
but does give you open-ended.
Decent card for
Pot's
Yeah.
335.
Yeah, Juan now open-ended, but Bryce with
So I
top
don't
pair.
think jamming here was necessarily optimal versus everyone, but I think in general the players in this game tend to be overfolding in these spots
Yeah.
and read too much into
all in.
all-in sizes that are more than pot.
Oh, you called? I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Come on,
And
Sammy.
obviously, we have a lot of outs
She's only
here.
at 465 behind.
And whoa, happy ending.
There it
Boom.
is, ace on the river.
Thank you, very G.
It's there.
Get a lot of outs.
Fun.
A
Huge
lot of
action.
outs. Tom Martell is in the chat. What's up,
Hi,
Tom?
Tom.
Yes, Tom
Garrett's
Martell
gonna be
is
there, of
playing
course.
great.
Premiums or overrated? Just get the juggernaut.
Just because we say you're running great doesn't
Are
mean
Nordy.
we're not saying you're playing great as well.
Apparently he's a fan favorite.
Tom Martell, hugely respected
So
in
anyways, you guys know,
Magic.
It's 50, 100, 100.
Aaron asked me how often I use dry shampoo, which I think is an excellent question. On certain weeks by the end of it, like I would be made of maybe like a quarter dry shampoo, just using it every day. I only wash my hair like once or twice a week.
Maybe
Okay, cool trivia. Schwan flops trip queens here. This is another painful memory. Spoilers. So Ruthless is going to bet his open-ended
If you want to
in
get
position.
in on that, you should
Xuan
give
just
Jack
calls.
Reiner.
Blinky with a gut shot.
Everybody loves a sweat. Juan loves trip queens.
Do you? Your kicker sucks.
For now, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fair.
And obviously, we're going to proceed cautiously in a 5-way pot.
Nobody else really
Right.
with much, so I think we're going to go heads up to this turn. Indeed, we are.
And now you're chopping with
Ruthless
bad queens and
finally
losing to
getting
other
there,
queens.
Making a hand.
49ers for some reason.
Got the straight. Cooler situation here with Xuan having trips. Oh, and it goes check, check.
Definitely kind of surprised
Five of clubs on the
Ruthless
river.
chose to check here.
Interesting. I don't know if I would have checked
I did
that there.
peel from the small blind wider than I usually would
Wanted to start
in
putting
a
more
foreign
money in
game,
if you can.
but that's because, again, these players tend to be tighter and not as experienced as most foreign games I play. So I think I can play a lot more hands, and so Ruthless probably thought a lot of my range has a full house or potentially a better hand here on the turn,
Called, but it's just
and
brutal
decide
now with
to
the
pot
club
control.
coming as well, so.
Which, you know, enticed me to value bet
should.
this river, which I
Not going to do it.
obviously wouldn't have done if you bet that turn.
And he just smugly takes
So,
the
yeah, I
pot.
think what it's, you had to do with
No, I think he knows he misvalued there.
for sure.
Tafo looking for that third three.
No, it's, it causes me to get excited about games I shouldn't get excited about.
It just raises his blood pressure every once in a while by like 5 ticks. From like 35 to 40.
It's like that hand in Ocean's 11. All red.
Ooh, this is a fun one.
So you opt to flatten the button?
Oh, Jimmy! You did the hard part!
So I've mentioned before as well, like with these hands like King, Queen, King, Jack, Ace, Jack, Ace 10, there's an alternate line to flat versus 3-betting here because if they have a hand that crushes you, they're going to 4-bet. So you flop good?
I flop
Three ways
okay.
to a flop.
Okay.
Both
When,
Tom
yeah, I
Pretty
mean,
decent,
better than missing.
for sure.
Tom's luck.
Unless they have you crushed, then it's better to miss.
You did get bluffed. You're out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Check
he
to
did the
you.
break, so he folded.
Folded
Which is
top
not
pair.
surprising.
60?
But like
Wow.
a lot of people like will like.
That's
Looks
60
like
into
He's
100.
not invincible.
And Tom Martell,
It was a 5-5 or something.
check and a call. Also,
Obviously-
guys, most people play looser on stream, and it's like some of the audience doesn't know that. 'Cause
Do you
they're
think most people play loose?
like- Okay, not most people.
Some people do.
Some
and
people do.
play
Oh,
tighter,
gosh, I'm speechless.
at least in tournaments.
Oh, okay. Turn
Especially
like
if-
yeah, these live stream cash
I
games.
guess I'm as good luck.
I don't know anybody who plays tighter. I mean, if especially if they play tighter,
I guess
they're
that
not
they're
getting invited.
volunteering to come on
Yeah.
stream. Yeah, they're not.
They're just
gonna
like,
play tighter.
yeah, it's not like
Juan
they're gonna
save a
blast
little bit
off
money.
necessarily, but there'll be a sport and
It's like Tom is
defend with the king and offsuit with the under the gun strat.
Here I value cut the shit out of myself.
bunch of hands.
Obviously, that's not the ideal texture to be value betting my hand here necessarily, but I felt
I mean, you should
confident
A lot of hands
that
she's getting,
unless
Tom
she's
would
checking
be
behind that would
betting
follow that.
this river into me
she bets.
if he had my hand beat.
I mean, I think you probably.
And I was
just
wrong.
call.
You have
Pretty
like
thin value raise, right?
8, 7,
Very,
8.
very thin.
I don't know if she has 7, 8, but
Right, so it's like
Yeah.
all the better two pairs and
And
straights.
Tom snaps and
I mean, Tom doesn't
yeah.
have 7-8 here. Tom doesn't really have 7-9, I assume. It's like multi-way on the
He
flop.
does just call pretty quick.
Yeah, right.
But they're literally like betting like table min.
So he juked me.
Seb Park with the 18
so
suited.
Seb Park
Makes it 20.
on the gun,
Juan with
4x,
Okay, it's just
and
Just
Xuan
calls.
smooths with jacks in the hijack. A lot of jack.
think it's good to
She
play a mixed
recognizes
strategy
that Seb
here.
has been
Yeah.
very tight
Sebastian
and is
has
raising
been
under the gun,
playing
so he's
quite
gonna have a
tight.
pretty strong range here.
Definitely one of the tighter guys at the table. He opened in the gun here.
And Tom, spades dominated, pairs dominated. It's okay.
No
It
fucks
gets away.
given.
Seb Park with top,
I'm gonna
Xuan
call
with no
Jack-
repair.
call with Jack 3 suited.
Tom with a very wise check.
Call, but
Even request
Played well. Well played, Tom.
going to be here, I think. 10 high flop though, so Seb gonna be in trouble here versus Xuan's jacks. He makes it $30.
Yeah. Did you hear that some of his backers like ended up like countersuing or like I don't know. Maybe Bryce heard about it, but
Are they talking about
it was
Ivy?
like he lost
Yeah.
the lawsuit.
Okay, figured.
And, like, people that backed him in something like
Raise
the case against the casinos 'cause, like,
by
he
Xuan.
wouldn't pay that-
Here
yeah,
with an
some-
overpair
yeah,
to the
whatever. So,
board, we want to get more money
Well,
into
I'm
the
gonna
pot,
raise to 110.
and we want to get heads up.
so yeah, request whatever you want. But then, yikes.
And I think Seb was playing shorter earlier, but he's
Seb calls.
has
No
1K.
spade on the turn.
5 of diamonds on the turn.
Do you think it'll change drastically?
Not much changes, and Seb's going to be in trouble here. I don't think he's going to be folding versus whatever Xuan bets here on the turn.
Someone asked if I'm the former artistic gymnast from China. Unfortunately, I am not.
Better.
I'll never be an Olympic gold medalist, though.
You don't know that. What if esports goes in the Olympics? Hey, Frozen's pushing for Hearthstone to be in the Olympics. That guy's grinding, man.
Yeah, if they come
Shout
out
to
with
Frozen.
an esport game for geriatrics, I might have a chance.
Playing like football with also.
And of course, betting the turn with jacks.
Well, right, exactly. Yeah.
Seb calls.
I hope never, because I never have to do that. But
Damn you,
And bad
baby.
deck. Bad deck.
I'm sure there will be at some point. I just don't have any.
But were you okay with the call? I mean,
On
you
the turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you put him on a 10?
Yeah, she is for sure.
I was certain I had the best hand at
Goes
that point.
check.
I feel like he might choose to
What do you
3-bet
think
me
about a
on the
lead,
flop if he had
river
a pair
from
over
Seb?
mine. And it's just really hard to have over pairs.
That don't jam already. Fair.
I usually don't like to lead after check calling in the streets.
Yeah, especially because the flop went to bet raise too.
That's what I did. I had cards.
All right. We're back on.
But Xuan not running too hot in this game.
Yeah,
so
Xuan
far.
not running very hot, commentator noting.
That's okay, I had fun.
So you got your peeps in there. Tom Martell was in the mix. Josh was in there. Piscatado 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyone else from the game in the chat? Hello.
Any
hello,
hands you
hello,
guys want to talk about?
Yeah, anybody want to talk about? Anyone want to call in? The number is at the bottom of the screen if you want to call in. Else, we'll see. Look for any more questions.
What's the call-in number?
It's on the bottom here. I mean,
Oh, okay.
559-823-5483. So you guys want to call in, ask Xuan some questions, chat us up. Come on, you guys talk so big in the chat.
Yeah, why don't you say it to my face?
Yeah. Al Mattis, Tom Martell, who are you? Go Google him. Go Google Xuan Liu, too.
When's the next live at the bike show?
There's tomorrow.
Okay.
There's 4 a week. It's the Monday's the talk show, and then Tuesday through Friday is poker, and Wednesday is a wild card. So if esports happens, I was surprised that you guys did a Thursday because it should have been a Wednesday because a lot of the Tuesday and Thursday lineups are regs, and when you take away that day, they are none the too happy. So
Oops, sorry, Regs.
no, they're okay. We'll get them back. We'll always be like, we owe you guys one. And we appreciate everybody who shows up on time. 951, who's this? Is live at the bike.
Hi.
Hi, I had a question for the live stream.
Yeah. Who is this?
It's Abram from San Luis Obispo.
What's up, Abram from Slow?
Not much. My question is, so I raised King Jack from early position, got 3 callers. Flop was Jack 10-10. I let out for $60, or I let out for $20.
Okay.
What stakes are you playing? What's your stake size?
It's
Hello?
Sorry, I'm like
table?
watching the stream right now. Yeah. So basically, my question is, are you ever laying down top pair, second kicker on such a dry board like that, or do you think
So single
you
raise
can
on the flop?
call a single raise?
Just off the flop, you mean? If
Yeah.
you're deep
'Cause
enough.
I figure she's a pretty tight player. I don't imagine her raising any queen jack, 9-jack hands, 9-8. I block king queen.
In general, if it's not a huge raise and you guys are playing deep enough, I would call here at least once. If you fold every time to a single raise here, you're just being way too exploitable, and the better players are going to catch on. So I would call here and see a turn.
Yeah, it's just she was so short stacked. She only had like another 100 behind after the raise.
Okay.
We need all the information up front.
Yeah, I mean, depends if you have backdoor flush draws,
No backdoor draws.
So
Just
what were
a
the blinds?
Standard top pair.
You raised it to 20. What were the blinds?
I raised it at 12 pre-flop, 20 on the flop. It's a 1-3 game.
Okay, so you
$150 effective stacks.
So you 4x pre-flop, and then 4 people see the flop. So first of all, you probably shouldn't be raising King Jack early position. It
was a short-handed game.
Yeah.
5-handed.
I don't think that it's a huge deal whether you raise there or not. But as played, like you said, if she's really tight and she's probably, and you block king queen as well, I would just fold if she jams for $100 more, and not worry too much about it. If she was deeper, like I said, calling would be good.
Yeah, I guess it's just the greater question is calling raises on drier flops with top pair. When do you continue there? Typically, what do you think about that?
Generally, you want to think about your opponent's possible hand ranges versus yours and what they're trying to represent. So it really just depends on the texture and their tendencies for sure.
Yeah, what do you, like if the flop was Jack 3-3? I mean, I think I could call a raise there more.
Sure. I completely agree. It's kind of an odd texture to get raised on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just hard to 9-8. Yeah, it just with such a short stack.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
think about if your opponent's story makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Hopefully, I worded that as clearly as possible.
You did great.
Okay. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Anyone with any hand histories? Oh, we got some.
No hand history. I mean,
Okay.
I guess I'll do some hand histories, but wasn't expecting
408. Are you from the Bay Area?
Bay Area, but live in San Diego.
Oh, okay. It's live at the bike. You're on with Xuan Liu and Wayne Chiang. What's going on?
Hey, I have a hand, but would love to get Xuan's perspective on game is 10-25 no limit, private game, Eric Lindgren's home game. Effective stacks are 350 big blinds.
Pretty deep.
350 big blinds effective, yeah, pretty deep. So I opened jacks under the gun +2. Button, who seems like pretty tight, solid. So I opened to 75, I believe it was, pre-flop.
Okay. That's a pretty small
He three
open
bets.
for these stacks, right?
Yeah, he three bets to 225 on the button. Everyone else folds. Background to me. I'm not sure where he's at. So I'm debating between flatting and four betting. So I guess first question there is he seems pretty tight solid. Haven't seen him get too out of line. And I think we can play out the hand, but I'm curious on pre-flop line.
I would almost always just flat here and see a flop.
Yeah.
In general, I don't think jacks play fantastically for bet pots, unless your opponent's a complete monkey, and you get into one of those 5-6 bet wars, which rarely happens in today's games. So jacks is at the top of your 3-bet calling range as well, and you definitely should play a predominantly flat calling strategy here, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. So I flat. So the flop comes Queen Jack 4. So I flop middle set. Playing in flows. So I check flop. He checks back. The turn comes at 10, which is not a good card, obviously. But I want to see where I'm at. So I lead out on the turn for I think I let out for 450 on the turn. He thinks for a few minutes, and then he calls. And the river bricks. I think the river was like an offsuit 3. And I lead for 1,000, and he makes it 2,400 on the river. And so the question, I guess I'm just wondering, is that a fold? Is it a crying call, or turn or river? Would you play that any differently?
Unfortunately, a lot of his 3-bet pre-flop combos are going to be ace-king.
Right, for sure.
I don't know if I would bet this river. It could be a good bet fold.
Your check calling river.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't think bet folding is bad versus some players who never bluff in these spots on the river.
Yeah, I feel like river raises in general in most games are rarely bluffy. They seem to usually be nutted.
Yeah.
So okay. You guys have time for one more hand by any chance, or do you have another call?
Do we?
Okay,
last hand. And then we gotta.
All right.
Sure.
Go ahead.
If you gotta go, it's all good. No worries.
Last hand, and then show's off.
Okay. Later in the same game, I call a raise in position with ace-4 suited against a kind of weak passive player. Flop comes queen 10-10 with the 1 club. I have ace-4 of clubs. The pre-flop raiser checks. I check back. Turn comes another club. Pre-flop raiser checks. I bet turn. He flat calls. The river comes a club, and he checks. I bet. He check raises. So is that a standard fold with the backdoor nut flush, just because you assume your opponent is trapping a monster?
It really depends on your opponent. You said he was a passive player. Versus some players I would never fold, versus others I would always. So
yeah, because he could have turned the same flush draw and been lower flush draw, and
but he opened from early position, right? There's not that many combos.
Correct.
Yes,
yeah, under the gun +2. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah. I wanted to fold pretty badly, but
so I guess he folded the full house.
yeah.
Did you find out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a big pot just because there wasn't a lot of action on the flop. relatively speaking. So pot controlled that on the turn. You just smooth called, and it was almost a min click on the river. Cool. Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate your
No problem.
appreciate
Thanks
your
for calling in.
perspective.
Good luck in the game.
All right.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have. Thank you for all the thumbs up, and thank you, Xuan Liu, for coming in. Look, you're 49 and 8 in these. No more, no more.
Sorry.
No more. Sorry. So smash that like button, subscribe, follow Xuan Liu on Twitter. I'm going to paste it in the chats.
Thanks, guys, so much. It's been nice.
All
It's
right.
been a while since I did one of these, so.
I will let you know when the League of Legends one's coming out. Or if you want to come back, period, just let me know.
Can
and
you
then
do one within like 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's probably too soon.
Okay.
I'll try to fit you in the game within the next 2 weeks, but
Yeah,
I have to
that'd
look
be
at the
great.
schedule. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. Hopefully she'll come back. I'm going to check the schedules. But
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.